The purpose of this video is to explain a basic accounting concept, the accounting equation. As you can see, the accounting equation is made up of assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. The accounting equation is assets are equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. In fact, sometimes the accounting equation is shortened to just 4 letters. A, L, O, E, ALLO. The accounting equation is always assets are equal to liabilities plus your owner's equity. Let's take an example. Let's say I've managed to save $10,000, and that $10,000 makes me very happy. I want to take that $10,000 and put it into the accounting equation. So let's discuss this. Our first part is an asset. An asset, it's anything of value. A house, a car, this marker, the Lightboard, even that $10,000 in cash. It all has value. And therefore, the $10,000, that's our asset. So we'll put it underneath the asset column. Now let's take a look here at liabilities. A liability is like an IOU. It's anything that we owe to somebody. In this case, I own that $10,000. I didn't borrow it from anybody. I didn't borrow it from a bank. So it's not a liability. It's my own personal money. Therefore, I don't have any liability. And the last part of the accounting equation is owner's equity. Now, owner's equity is the amount left over when you have your asset and you take away your liabilities. It's the amount you actually own of something. In our case, I have $10,000. I don't owe it to anybody. Therefore, I actually own all $10,000 of that amount. It's a good deal. Now let's say I go house shopping. And I go and I find a house, and I find a house for $200,000. It's a great house and I really want it. Well, I only have $10,000 in cash, and that means I have to go someplace else. I have to go to a bank. And I have to go to the bank and I have to ask them if I can have a loan in the amount of $190,000. So now we have a different scenario. Let's take this scenario and put it into the accounting equation. Our assets, remember, there's something of value. Now, I haven't purchased the house yet. I only have cash right now. I have the $10,000 that I started out with, but I also now have the $190,000 from the bank. And that gives me a grand total of $200,000. So I have $200,000 as an asset. Let's go to our liabilities. Remember, it's an IOU. If you borrowed money, I definitely borrowed money. And I borrowed money from the bank. And they are going to want their money back. I owe the bank $190,000. That's my liability. And therefore, it goes under the liability heading. And the last part of our accounting equation is owner's equity. And remember, owner's equity is the amount you actually own after you take away your liabilities from your assets. I have $200,000, but I owe the bank $190,000. That means I only own $10,000 of that $200,000. Now, what would happen if I purchased the house? The house is still $200,000. It's now my asset. I have $200,000 worth of a house. And I still owe the bank $190,000. So the bank owns $190,000 worth of my perfect house. I, on the other hand, I own $10,000 of my house. These numbers, of course, will change over time as you start to pay off your IOUs. But for now, for this example, I only own $10,000 worth of my house that I just purchased. Now, although these examples are very simple, you need to remember two things about the accounting equation. Number one, the accounting equation is always assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. And something else, you have two sides to this equation. Whatever amount is on this side, 200,000, it has to equal whatever amount is on this side, 200,000. Your assets always equal your liabilities plus your owner's equity. Thank you, and see you next time.